Do you know that scientists just discovered how life on Earth started? They believe all things came from this molecule called RNA, which multiplies itself in the right conditions. And guess where RNA works best? On clay. Scientists just discovered that life started on clay. And the Quran says this in multiple places 1400 years ago. For example, in chapter 3871, God says he created humans from clay. How does that work?
So does this mean we should be worshiping Anu? Does this mean we should be worshiping Ptah or Ra? Because based on your claim here, young lady, you are saying that the Quran says that man was made from clay. And since RNA is being proven, it's proof according to you, even though it's still a theory and not proof, that RNA, which is a single helix, and then when in the presence of clay, but also you must have water involved in it as well, because the NIH and NASA and the Science Direct and many other organizations have determined that without the presence of water in certain conditions, then the RNA will still remain to be a single helix and never become a double helix. So in order for that to happen, so that is why it's still the RNA theory. But what you're saying though, since the Quran borrows from the Christian Bible, and the Christian Bible borrows from the Masoretic Bible, the Torah, and since the Torah borrows from the Kemetic and the Sumerians, then what you're actually saying is that the fact that Ptah said that he created man and Ra said that he created man from the clay, from the dirt, and according to the Anunnaki story, it is from, in some versions of it, most versions deal with the cloning from a human type animal, humanoid with an Anunnaki, but there are some variations that say that man being created from the dirt. So it would go back mainly to the Egyptian story, the Kemetic story, with a little bit of the Sumerian story involved. So therefore, we should all be worshiping Ptah or Ra, because they were the originators in that part of the world of the formation of man based on clay, and everyone else are just borrowers of the same cosmology. So what you've done is invalidate your Quran, but then validate the ancient Kemetic teachings of Ra and Ptah. So you might want to reverse that one and not try to claim that one, because many people don't realize how their stories are linked to more ancient stories. And then the fact that what you're claiming has not even been proven as a fact yet, but is still a theory. And it's been a theory that started in the 1940s, and as of today, 2024, the most recent was in February, it is still a theory and hasn't been proven as fact, but you just want to take that leap anyway. You just want to jump ahead and say that it is, but when in truth it's not. So it's a good try, but you fail to think critically beyond a worldview that you already have, and therefore, because you already have your bias and have your landing point, you can't see beyond it. And that's why many of us deconstruct, because we begin to see beyond just what we already have as our confirmation bias, and be able to look deeper into these stories and deeper into the allegations that people like you make, and can see that if you accept that man was made by clay, then you have to go back to the first ones who were saying this, which would be your Kemetic societies for the most part. If you were to say that man was made by clay, clay, corn, and tears, then we would go back to the Aztec and the Mayans, because they were the ones who said that man was made in that format by the two brothers. So, and if you said man was cloned, we'd have to say that it came from the Sumerian story. So when Eve was cloned from Adam, you're talking about the Sumerian story, to whom they borrowed it all from. You see how it doesn't work. The beginning is not the beginning based on your book, but the beginning is the beginning based on archaeology and anthropology. And the point is, we don't know the beginning. We don't know. The beginning goes further back than the Kemetic, than the Sumerians. It goes back further than the whomever survived the Ice Age from 50,000 years ago. It goes back further and further and further and further and further, to the point where we don't even know and have very little information. Because if in the next 20,000 years, if we went through a nuclear holocaust right now on this planet, 20,000 years from now, the only thing that might have survived are some McDonald's French fries, because them things never decay, and some plastics here and there, and people wouldn't know the difference. They wouldn't know of the societies that was here, because we haven't built anything that can last 20,000 years without mankind's maintenance. So, you know, that part. So people will be making up shit about how we existed, just like you're making up shit. And we have what we have right now. We know certain things, but we don't know everything. So always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.